people who have signed NDAs that have now expired or for whatever reason are no longer valid. What couldn't you tell us but now can? One of my friend's brothers was on the MTV showroom Raiders. Everything in the show is staged. All of the items that they would find were planted. At the end of the show, the prize was not a date with the girl that he picked, he just got her phone number. So who planted the semen they were always finding with their black light? A friend of mine got a job at a prominent local distillery that makes an extremely popular flavored whiskey. They literally buy whiskey from a third-party distillery and dump Torani flavoring syrup into it. I had to sign an NDA because I was part of a test screening for The Dark Tower with Idris Elba. Tried to tell them it sucked. They didn't want to listen. So what was the point of having that test screening, to have people gas them up about their shitty movie, and not hear the truth? LMAO. Looking for constructive criticism they could use to modestly change their movie, like editing choices and whatnot, not a wholesale ground-up rework. Oh. The movie sucked? Well then. I guess we'll just bin the whole $20 million experience. Thanks for letting us know. I signed an NDA to waitress at a local family-owned restaurant. The owner was nuts, definitely had a severe personality disorder, and was worried about his recipes getting leaked. The restaurant is dead now and his secret recipes consisted almost solely of frozen packaged food. Edit, guys. Stop trying to guess what restaurant it is. You never will. There are millions of family-owned places with crazy bosses that go under. You don't know the place and I'm not gonna tell you. Also, Mr. Krabs pays his employees enough to own houses and pets. I wish I worked for him. Apple 100% replaced the iPhone 4 for users because of a shitty antenna. We were instructed to dodge, deflect, and deny this was the issue. Cell phone providers were shiz, the phone was a fluke, it didn't matter. Don't admit fault. But if they were there for reception, vs water damage, buttons, or battery life, you had to make sure you were swapping them with the newer batch iPhone 4 swaps rather than the typical batch swaps. It was a recall without being a recall. But only if you had reception issues. I signed an NDA once when I was an extra on Mortal Engines. If you watch the movie, you'll learn more than I did on set. I watched the movie. Understood nothing. So. That's right kids, I was told to push buttons and pretend to die. As a person who watched that movie, I'm kinda jealous of the button pushing. You can keep the whole pretending to die bit though. I signed an agreement at my last job that I'd never sue them over anything ever. In exchange I was allowed to get yearly raises. After I left that job I joined a class action suing them for making me sign that and holding raises hostage. Made quite a bit from that. So in addition to all those yearly raises, you got an additional bonus. Yup. It was pretty awesome. I got a letter in the mail that said our records indicate you worked at XXXX during these times, did you sign the arbitration agreement? I signed the letter, mailed it back in the postage paid envelope and made close to $10,000 a few months later. Posted this before, if it sounds familiar. Not me, but a guy I know was on cash cab. A lot of it was faked. He was told he would be on a travel food show and would get picked up by a fake taxi at a certain location at a certain time. There were camera crews all over outside the taxi and there's no way on earth you might mistake it for a real cab. I always assumed that the contestants knew they were going to be on cash cab and their surprised reactions were all faked. If this is true, it's actually a pleasant surprise. We used an extract to flavor our peanut butter porter. God, it feels good to get that off my chest. Sweet baby Jesus. I used to sell Dukla for a distributor and the brewery told us it was safe for people with peanut allergies, so they are definitely not using real peanut butter in their beer. People I know who brew it hate that damn beer. Stupid home brew competitions and stupid money. Deleted. Recycling company would throw away a lot of stuff. They collected the money from government subsidies, while leaving the employees to a shiz salary in a hazardous workplace. R/OSHA would have freaked out. That included having dirty syringes. Thank God I didn't get stabbed by one, where people would sort the materials. X200B. It was awful. That's illegal and should have been reported to multiple government agencies for defrauding the government, hazardous work conditions, and maybe breaking waste laws. Worked for a short time as a QA tester at EA, and wasn't allowed to talk about the game I was testing, the console port for The Sims 4. There wasn't really much to talk about, but since the first few versions were basically just running the PC version on a console, there were a lot of bugs with it. One of the worst was a lighting bug we started referring to as disco mode, since it caused a bunch of multicolored squares to show up on everything at night or in dark areas. Anything else you can tell us? I'm a huge Sims fan. Worked at a matchmaking company. It's all bullshit, it's just throwing darts at a wall until something sticks. There's no science or magic to it at all. I thought you meant a company that makes literal matches and was confused, figured that recipe would have been locked down long ago. Edit, thanks for the silver/gold. I just picture a factory where a bunch of dudes are coming up with new, creative ways to burn themselves lol. Sir, what makes you a fit for this company? My name is Kyle and I like lighting both kinds of roaches on fire. Also my dad is a fucking idiot. I think you need to turn around and walk straight into work. You're hired, bruh. In 1990, I signed an NDA at Chili's when they showed me how to make their new Awesome Blossom. No other restaurant in town had anything like it and it was hugely popular at the time. Let me guess. You cut up, batter, and deep fry an onion? Mostly it was how they cut the onion to make it open up like it does. Yeah, these days it is really easy, but at the time it was like their trademark for a bit. Didn't they copy Outback's Bloomin' Onion? I think Awesome Blossom was actually first, but Outback stuck with it and Chili's moved on. Amazon made me sign one when I worked with a company that painted their airplanes before the public knew they had them. I did the FAA paperwork. I was literally only one of like 7 people to see their airplane fully purple with their logo on it. I was actually taken off of the project for a day because they thought I lied about not having a Facebook. They meant business. How did you prove you didn't have a Facebook? Why did they care? I don't know why, but I lolled and they meant business. Why did they care? I'd imagine it was because they would see it as you having a secret Facebook account to potentially share information about the aircraft. If they know about the account, then they could potentially monitor it. There is going to be a Capri Sun sports flavor in roughly 2003. I was a taste tester for Kraft Foods when I was 10. We didn't sign an NDA, but it was supposed to be a secret. We didn't sign an NDA, but it was supposed to be a secret. They expected you to share it with all your friends to generate grassroots hype. You failed them. I'm sharing it with all my friends now. The hype lives, my friend. Capri Sun sports flavor coming in 2003. Just you wait. All juice drinks or sports drinks, same thing really, are on notice. Kraft Macaroni and Cheese are coming out with a more modern and upscale version to expand their market from lower income folks to higher income folks. It is almost entirely the same product as the 69 blue box, but will have a lighter, less orangey color. They will be sold as shells and not macaroni. The box will be shaped differently, and it will go for $2.50 or more. Stated to be released by 1995. Maybe I'm lower class, but I like it when it's more orange. I'm eating pasta and cheese from a box. I know I'm lower class. D&D 5e had a kick-ass online character builder that made character creation a breeze. It listed all of the possible skills etc. per race and class that was intuitive and made theory crafting for characters easy. Personal conjecture, They canned it because it took away from the pen and paper aspect of the game, and they were afraid with an online tool it'd take away from book sales. There are still some pretty amazing fan-made ones out there. I worked security for a preview screening of Beauty and the Beast like 8 months before it came out. I had to sign an NDA to see Infinity War 2 months early. Everyone broke it instantly once we got back to the lobby, LOL. From what I've heard in video games, reviewers who get early copies and break embargoes typically don't have legal action taken against them, but never get review copies of games again, basically killing their career. I bet it's a similar situation in film.